Heat illness. One of the hazards you face. You're outside. You work hard. In the heat. Heat illness is a reality. But the good news is, it's preventable. That's right. No one has to experience heat illness, and by following the steps outlined in this program, you won't have to. Remember these 3 words: water, shade, rest. These are the basic principles behind preventing heat stress and heat illness. Your company should provide plenty of water, rest, and shade during the hot summer months. April 1st through October 1st of every year, or if it is a day that will be over 80 degrees, shade will be put up automatically and water and shade will be placed as close as possible to all workers. If it's under 80 degrees, and if you need it, you can ask for it and it will be available for you. Water is available all year round, not just during hot summer months. Your supervisor will use a heat index card to monitor the weather, and the card will also help him with a plan of action. To read it, he'll take the temperature for the day and the humidity. If the temperature lands in the orange area, then the risk for heat illness is high, and he will take additional precautions to protect his workers. For instance, he can start the workday earlier and end earlier. He can do a tailgate on heat illness prevention reminders every day, or he may implement additional breaks and rest periods. New employees who have never worked in the heat and employees returning from not working in the heat for more than a week need to be acclimated. It takes 4 days to 2 weeks working in the heat to get acclimated, depending on the person. If you have not recently worked in the heat, please let your supervisor know so that he can monitor you. You do not want to ever get heat illness because once you do get it, your body has a way of remembering it and you're easily affected by the heat the next day and could get recurring heat illness symptoms. You will also be observed on the first day of a sudden heat wave because this is the time when workers are most susceptible to getting heat illness. Employees need to know what the signs and symptoms of heat stress are. Be acclimated to the heat. Let your supervisor know if you are not. Drink 8 cups of water, 1 quart per hour, and rest in the shade. Wear light-colored clothing. Eat light foods. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and sugary, salty foods. Use the buddy system during high heat. This is when a supervisor assigns you to work with another worker and you both watch out for heat illness symptoms in each other. You need to know exactly where your partner is in case of an emergency. Contact emergency services directly if no first aid trained supervisor is available. Use the emergency poster if 911 is not properly working for you. You can ask for a rest break if you feel tired to prevent heat illness. You just need to let your supervisor know. If you are taking a preventative cool-down rest period, CDR, you will need to rest for no less than 5 minutes. You will be monitored for heat illness symptoms and encouraged to remain in the shade until any symptoms are gone. If you feel any heat illness, you will be provided first aid and asked if you would like to go to a doctor before you go home. There are 4 types of heat illness: heat rash, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and heat stroke. The first is heat rash. This is a red cluster of pimples caused by sweating and heat. To treat this, wash with soap and water, apply calamine lotion. The second is heat cramps. This is painful muscle spasms caused by strenuous activity and heat. To treat this illness, rest in shade, drink water, and massage muscle. If cramps don't go away after an hour, you must seek medical attention. You can drink Gatorade, but if you do, follow up with 2 bottles of water. Gatorade has sodium in it that can make you feel more dehydrated. Next, heat exhaustion. Signs of heat exhaustion are cool, moist, pale, or flushed skin, heavy sweating, cramps, headache, nausea, vomiting. Stop work and immediately notify your supervisor. Go to a cool, shady area, drink water or a sports beverage, shower with cool water, apply wet cloths to the entire body, remove or loosen clothing, remove heavy PPE. If you see someone with these symptoms, help the person by taking them to a cool, shady area and follow the same procedures. Lastly is heat stroke. Signs of heat stroke are dry, hot skin, no sweating, mental confusion, dizziness, loss of consciousness, convulsions, slurred speech, and cardiovascular collapse. The body temperature can reach 106 degrees or higher in as little as 10 minutes. If someone has these symptoms, the body must be cooled down as quickly as possible to avoid brain damage. Move the person to a cool, shady area. Shower with cool water, apply wet cloths to the entire body, remove or loosen clothing, remove heavy PPE, fan vigorously. If it can be tolerated, have the person drink water. If no one is around to help, call 911 or emergency services. Do not let anyone with these symptoms get up and leave, as they can die before they get home or reach the hospital. Remember, it's crucial to follow these emergency procedures. At body temperatures of 106 degrees, the brain is frying. Your goal is to prevent brain damage and eventual death. They say every minute the person is not helped, it equates to 10% brain damage. So if the person goes 5 minutes with no help, the person can succumb to 50% brain damage. People have died in as little as 7 minutes, 70% brain damage. So please follow the instructions and save a life. So remember to know what the signs and symptoms of heat stress are. Be acclimated to heat. Let your supervisor know if you are not. Drink 8 cups of water, 1 quart per hour, and rest in shade. Wear light-colored clothing. Eat light foods. Avoid caffeine, alcohol, and sugary, salty foods. And use the buddy system. Heat illness is serious and can be deadly. But as we've said, it doesn't have to happen to you. The key is not to get to these dangerous levels in the first place. Remember, water, rest, and shade. It's the key to your safety.